Welcome back to the channel again, guys. We are back now with new documents. Justin Baldoni's lawyers. It's not Brian Friedman, it doesn't look like, but that's okay. We'll deal with it. Justin Baldoni's lawyers respond to Leslie Sloane's motion to dismiss. Now, this just went up. We're going to dive in, and then I want to look at a couple of articles that came out in support of Justin and Gwyneth Paltrow. Was this her talk about, I don't need an intimacy coordinator? Was that a little bit of a slight against this whole drama with Blake Lively? We're going to read that article as well. I do have client calls, so we do have to keep this one much shorter than the last one. But we're going to be here for a bit. Hello, it's so nice to see you guys. Welcome back. Okay, let's whoops, there we go. Back. Hello, guys. Hi, Mel. So nice to see you guys. All right. Here it is. Who wrote this? This was Mitchell Schuster. I always feel bad saying people's names, but it wasn't Brian Friedman that wrote it. However, it is from Justin's team, March 19th, to Judge Lyman. It's in regards to Lively versus Wayfair Studios. Let's dive in, guys. As counsel for Wayfair Studios, LLC, Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Steve Sarowitz, It Ends With Us Movie, LLC, Melissa Nathan, the agency group, PR, LLC, and Jennifer Abel, collectively the Wayfarer parties, we object. Hell yeah, you do. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. We object to Leslie Sloane and Vision PR Inc.'s, the Sloane party's request for an order pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 26C, staying discovery as to them pending a determination of their motion to dismiss the Wayfarer party's first amended complaint. Yes. Heck yeah, you do. We object. Hello, guys. Welcome back. Well, technically Freeman, but not Freeman. It is Mitchell from his team. They kept this one short and sweet. Yeah. You know, I actually love how they're going about this because it just makes Blake and Ryan look even more unhinged. Leslie, all of them. The fact that Justin's team is staying professional, keeping it short, sweet, straight to the facts, honestly is making the other side just look absolutely unhinged. Hello again, Mel. So nice to see you guys. Oh, I wanted to mention something quickly before we go further. I had a question from the last video if I could not say hi to everyone at the beginning because people don't want to hang out apparently while I say hi to you guys. And here's the thing. I've been in the online space for a long time, not in this type of commentary space, but in the online space for a long time. And if I do something, it's intentional. And for me, it's about community. If I want to just record information and give it to you guys, I'm going to record information and give it to you guys. If I'm going live, it's because I enjoy hanging out with you. And for me, community comes first. For you guys, feeling seen and recognized comes first. And I feel, for, you know, the example was given with Candace on how she says hi to people at the end. For me, it might as well just be a pre-recorded podcast at the end of the day, because I like you guys feeling seen. I like hanging out with you guys. So no, I will not change that. And if anyone doesn't like it at the end of the day, you know, you don't have to hang out. I'm not offended if you don't want to hang out here and if I'm not for you. Hello, it's so nice to see you. All right. But anyway, that said, I love this community. When I go live, it's because I want to hang out with you guys. I appreciate feedback, but I'm going to keep doing me. And you keep doing you guys. Pursuant to Rule 26C, the court has discretion to issue a protective order on matters relating to discovery upon a showing of good cause. The burden of showing good cause for the issuance of a protective order falls on the party seeking the order. Republic of Turkey versus Christie's Inc. Discovery should not be routinely stayed simply on the basis that a motion to dismiss has been filed. And that's Morin and Flattery, another case. I agree with that. That seems reasonable. What a mess if everyone's just like, no, we're just going to wait until we have an answer about dismissal, in my opinion. But what do I know? I'm not a lawyer. A court determining whether to grant a stay of discovery pending a motion, but must look to the particular circumstances and posture of each case. Republic of Turkey, so they're again citing cases. Court should consider multiple factors, including the breadth of discovery sought, the burden of responding to it, the prejudice that would result to the party opposing the stay, and strength of the pending motion forming the basis of the request for stay. The Sloane parties have not demonstrated that a stay of discovery is warranted. Yeah, basically they're like, we just don't want to do the work. And, industry secrets and all. First, the Sloane parties have not demonstrated that the discovery sought from it will be burdensome. Now, the two lawyers also, Ask Two Lawyers, talked about that in one of their videos, and they said it is not overly burdensome. It's not out of the realm of what would be expected. Although the Sloane parties complain about the slight shade there, although the Sloane parties complain about the number of categories of documents sought and the number of interrogatories propounded by the Wayfair parties, the Sloane parties simultaneously contend that several of the document requests have no discernible relevance to the case, and that the Sloane parties' role in the overall dispute is small. If the Sloane parties' position is that the Wayfair parties' demands exceed the scope of discovery permitted by Rule 26b1, which the Wayfair parties dispute, then the Sloane parties can assert such an objection in formal responses thereto, and the parties will meet and confer about the demands in compliance with your honor's individual practices. Sounds reasonable. Furthermore, if the Sloane parties' role in the dispute is small, as they claim, but which the Wayfair parties dispute, I love that, then it should not be unduly burdensome for them to produce documents and information concerning that alleged minor role in the dispute. I agree with that. If it's so small, then just produce the documents that prove it's small. See Brar and Egan Jones Ratings Co. denying staying of discovery pending motion to dismiss because some burden exists in all discovery. Makes sense. Mira versus Jordan denying stay of discovery pending motion to dismiss where defendant did not identify any burden associated with the production. The Sloane parties' motion refers to the court's recent order granting the New York Times companies, the New York Times, motion to stay discovery. However, in that order, the court reasoned that the New York Times' intention to invoke rights under the New York Shield Law raises delicate and complicated issues, which would increase the burden of responding to discovery. The Sloane parties do not and cannot argue that any similar delicate or complicated discovery issue exists with respect to the information sought from them, while the Sloane parties contend that discovery is particularly burdensome because several of the Sloane parties' direct business competitors are parties to this action. Any concern they have about producing purported confidential and sensitive business information is allayed by the court's entry of a protective order. That's what I was thinking when she was going on about that. I was like, did we not just talk about a protective order? I don't know. We love being seen, Ash. I don't mind you saying hello. However, when you start reading the document, it's confusing. I have ADHD. Y'all don't have to hang out here if it's not for you. Regardless of whether some or all of the Wayfair parties' claims against the Sloane parties are dismissed, which is doubtful, the Sloane parties are material witnesses with respect to the other claims herein. Hence, the Sloane parties will have discovery obligations as a non-party. See Brower 348 FRD at 186, denying stay of discovery because it is inevitable that some discovery may be obtained from defendant regardless of the outcome of her motion. Bennett versus Cuomo, denying stay of discovery because burdens thereof are unlikely to change substantially regardless of how the motions to dismiss are decided, given that movements will remain key witnesses even if the claims against them are dismissed. Although the court held that the dimensions of the discovery that is permitted may vary depending on whether the New York Times is a defendant or third party and whether it is acting in a journalistic capacity or, as Wayfair parties allege, as a co-conspirator with the Lively parties. The Sloane parties are not journalists and therefore cannot assert similar privileges to the New York Times. I love this. It's in my opinion, showing that Justin's side is keeping it professional. They're stating the facts, and they're not doing what Ryan literally just did, which was make it so personal, take personal attacks. I love this. Second, the Wayfair parties will be unfairly prejudiced. The Wayfair parties will be unfairly prejudiced by the stay of discovery sought from the Sloane parties. As the Sloane parties acknowledge, they have served as a discovery request upon the Wayfair parties. In any event, the lack of prejudice to the Wayfair parties is insufficient to stay discovery, given the other factors weighing against a stay. Third, the Sloane parties have not made a strong showing that the Wayfair parties' claims against them are unmeritorious. The Sloane parties attempt to paint a false picture that the Wayfair parties have not meaningfully opposed the motion to dismiss. In truth, the Wayfair party's opposition to the Sloane party's motion to dismiss is robust, persuasive, and warrants a denial of the motion to dismiss. I agree with that too. I mean, they were trying to play it off that it's small, but that was just 6 days after Brian Friedman, I believe, had said that he wanted to amend the complaint again or amend the lawsuit again to include additional information. So based on what Justin's side is saying, it's not a small role, but I agree with his side of, well, if it is a small role, then you shouldn't have a problem producing the little amount of documents. Contrary to the Sloane party's criticism about impermissible group pleadings, the First Amendment complaint adequately notifies the Sloane parties that the allegations against them are that they engaged in a conspiracy with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, collectively the Lively parties, to spread false and defamatory information about the Wayfair parties to various media outlets, including the Daily Mail and New York Times. Yep. And principally pertain to accusations that Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath engaged in sexual misconduct towards Blake Lively, and that the Wayfair parties orchestrated a retaliatory smear campaign to damage Lively's image and reputation after she reported their purported misconduct. As set forth more fully in the Wayfair party's opposition to the dismissal motion, the First Amendment complaint adequately states claims for defamation, civil extortion, false light under the applicable California law. Indeed, the First Amendment complaint specifically alleges that the Sloane parties made statements to reporters referring to Baldoni as a sexual predator. Like, these people are just and accusing him of sexual assault. And that was interesting, right? Because she changed. That's when everyone online was going, wait, what? Originally it was SH and now it's SA. Allegations which the court must assume are true and which the Sloane parties cannot legitimately contend are insufficient to support causes of action for defamation and false light. Although the Sloane parties argue that even the dismissal of only some but not all of the claims against them would drastically narrow the scope of party discovery, they neglect to explain how that outcome would narrow discovery, let alone drastically, given the Wayfair party's allegations that the Sloane parties engaged in a conspiracy with the Lively parties to disseminate false and defamatory information concerning the Wayfair parties. We respectfully request that the court deny the Sloane party's motion for a stay of discovery. I love how his team's going about this. His team is just there. Here's the facts. This is just it. And the beauty of this is we just read Ryan's motion to dismiss, and it was just personal attack after personal attack, throwing all like new allegations out. It just was awful, using Justin's words against him. And then you have like this beautifully presented professional response. And I think taking this approach is going to be gold. So I had 5 months to draft the New York Times article too. Yeah. Exactly. Them whining about group pleadings is them pretending to not know what a conspiracy is. Yeah, that's true too. That's actually a very good point. That's a very good point. Clear and to the point. I love it. All right, let's see. That's all there is there. But I saw TMZ while I was scarfing down lunch quick, had a post up. Justin Baldoni, Ryan tried to destroy me. Now he wants out. Ryan Reynolds is trying to run from the very firestorm he helped ignite by trying to get cut out of the legal battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, at least according to Justin's attorney. Brian Friedman is blasting Ryan for filing a request to dismiss Baldoni's lawsuit against him, telling TMZ, Mr. Reynolds' exploitation of his enormous power in Hollywood continues, this time arrogantly asking to be dismissed from the case despite his publicly documented involvement, extending far beyond just being a supportive spouse. Yeah. I love Brian Friedman. Mr. Reynolds was a key player in the scheme, defaming Justin around Hollywood, strong-arming WME, and dropping Justin as a client, and trying to destroy Justin's career however possible. As we reported, Ryan filed the dismissal documents Tuesday, calling Justin thin-skinned for complaining the so-called nice pool character from Deadpool and Wolverine was mocking him. But Friedman says Reynolds trying to skate is laughable because his fingerprints have been all over the smear campaign against Justin and the Wayfair team since day one. Mr. Reynolds now attempts to reduce plainly cognizable claims to hurt feelings, sending a clear message that bullying is acceptable. And that's what I said too. Like, this message is bullying's fine. You're allowed to bully, and they have kids. I would hope that Blake and Ryan don't genuinely believe that bullying's okay. I would hope they don't genuinely believe that. He adds, after letting him match, Mr. Reynolds now seeks to run from the flames. It won't work. The Wayfair party's claims against him are real and they're serious. Mr. Reynolds can appear on as many sketch shows as he wants and freely try to make light of his current situation, but we will not stop until he's held accountable for his actions. There is no way there's going to be a settlement now. The sketch show's reference calls out Ryan for his SNL 50 appearance, where he and Blake very clearly mocked their legal drama with Justin. Ryan wants to be dismissed from Baldoni's lawsuit with prejudice, which would mean it can't be refiled at any point. And clearly Justin's team is vehemently opposed to that. I cannot wait. I wonder if we'll get it today. Brian Friedman's response to Ryan. I wonder if we'll get it today. TMZ being on Justin's side. I despise TMZ. He didn't remove his fingerprints well enough. Definitely did not. Instant karma. I've seen, there's been a few times where I thought TMZ's leaning their way now. I agree. I should love your image. Ryan's dismissal attempt should be used as Freeman as admission of guilt for defamation and causing loss of Justin's job. I love that. TMZ got destroyed during Depp case. This time they're cautious. That's true too. They might be a little bit more cautious this time. And then I saw this article. What time is it? We got a few minutes. I wonder if it might just be a coincidence, but I just think it's interesting speaking on intimacy coordinators now with everything that's going on. So Gwyneth Paltrow slights Blake Lively over intimacy coordinators amid her bitter legal battle with Justin Baldoni. Gwyneth Paltrow does not agree with Blake Lively's belief that it's critical to have an intimacy coordinator on set. And now, that's not, of course, not to speak for everyone. Like if someone prefers to have an intimacy coordinator, then they're there. Absolutely. I just think it's interesting timing to speak on this. Just kind of like, didn't Anna Kendrick say something about the importance of directors? It's just interesting timing. Friedman has responded. Are you kidding me? Do these people not know I have clients? My goodness. All right, I'll have a look. Saging from Run. Evil energy for real. All right, let's get through this one and then I'll see if I can pull anything new up. It's interesting timing, just like Anna Kendrick talking about the importance of directors. While the Gossip Girl star 37 has been outspoken about why she feels it is necessary that actors work directly with professionals to choreograph intimate scenes, the Goop founder 52 has a very different mindset about the matter. The Oscar winner, who was doing 3 to 5 films a year at the height of her acting career, admitted that having an intimacy coordinator on the set of Marty Supreme alongside Timothée Chalamet was a big change for her. Oh, interesting. There's now something called an intimacy coordinator, which I did not know existed, she told Vanity Fair. It's like, girl, I'm from the era where you get naked, you get in bed, the camera's on. Ultimately, Paltrow revealed that she ended up asking the intimacy coordinator to take a step back. I don't know how it is for the kids who are starting out, but if someone is like, okay, and then he's going to put his hand here, I feel like as an artist, very stifled by that, the mother of 2 explained. Paltrow also noted that she and Chalamet's character, Marty Mouser, have a lot of sex in the movie. After the interviewer asked if there was a lot of vulnerable positions between she and, why do you have to, I don't like how that's worded, Kylie Jenner's boyfriend. I'm pretty sure Timothy is allowed to have his name there. That's weird. Paltrow answered beyond. So anyway, that's interesting. So while not universally mandated, intimacy coordinators have become more common and seen as essential for productions involving intimate scenes, particularly after the Me Too movement. The Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, SAG-AFTRA, has also developed guidelines that encourage productions to hire intimacy coordinators, especially for scenes involving nudity or sex. Intimacy coordinators' roles are to create a comfortable environment for actors so they feel safe and respected during the scene that involves simulated sex, nudity, or partial nudity. That's interesting. All right. Well, yeah. And I mean, I don't think she's pretending to speak for every woman. And I don't think she's necessarily saying Blake Lively is wrong for wanting one, but it's just interesting. It's interesting that that statement came out at this time. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Hang out with us. Clearly, an intimacy corner is not sufficient to. Well, and that's actually a good point. Intimacy corner is not sufficient to guarantee you don't have someone making false claims or whining about being uncomfortable. See, it ends with us. That's actually a very good point that I didn't think of. I want to apply for an intimacy coordinator job. Where do you even apply for that? How do you even? That is. There are some jobs I do not know how you get in the door of. Hello, it's so nice to see you. Okay, so Advanced Publications owns Condé Nast, which owns Glamour. Just some of the companies that it also is included kind of in the umbrella of like magazines and such are the New Yorker, Allure, Brides, GQ, Golf Digest, Self, Teen Vogue, Vanity Fair, Vogue, W, Wired. Advanced Publication also owns 30% of Reddit. They have, what was the other? Stake in Warner Brothers, I believe it is. So Advanced Publications and Condé Nast, the problem becomes if they start posting negative things about Blake and Ryan, you get cut off from WME. Now, if you get cut off from WME, not is it only Blake and Ryan, allegedly, not only is it Blake and Ryan, but you get cut off from all of their clients. And it's not just Glamour that would suffer, right? It's all of those different publications, Allure, Vogue, which I find Vogue would also, and the owners that own Vogue and Glamour wouldn't go against Blake because Anna Wintour of Vogue is very pro Blake. She's, kind of the Met Gala darling Blake. Well, previously, it'll be interesting to see once moving forward. But this is the concern for a lot of these publications is if you go against Blake and Ryan, who Ari Emanuel has said he's ride or die for them, what happens if you post something that he sees as bad? Well, potentially being cut off from all of their clients and on all the magazines. This goes, like, it's very much known. Vogue and Glamour are both just all fashion and makeup ads. They pretty much are at this point. We're living under the consequences of non-forcing antitrust laws in decades. Good point. So what happened here? The controversy over Disney blacklisting the LA Times explained. Disney retaliated against the LA Times for reporting it didn't like. The implications are huge. As reviews of Marvel's Thor began rolling out in advance of the movie's November 3rd release, a review from one news outlet, in particular the Los Angeles Times, was glaringly absent, and its editors didn't hold back in explaining why. In a simple note to readers published November 3rd, the newspaper explained that it could not review Thor prior to the film's release, nor include it or the highly anticipated Star Wars The Last Jedi in its annual entertainment holiday preview. The reason the note said is that Disney, which owns both Marvel and Lucasfilms, had barred the LA Times critics from attending advanced press screenings of both films. And in fact, any Disney movies in response to unfair coverage. As LA Times writer Glenn Whipp explained on Twitter, now X, the unfair coverage in question was a scathing two-part series published in late September that investigated Disney's fraught business ties to Anaheim, California, home of the company's Disneyland theme park. Disney's displeasure with the LA Times reporting of this story took the form of a statement essentially blacklisting the entire paper from interviews and screenings related to any of its major or many properties until the paper adhered to balanced reporting in the future. Which balanced reporting is just say what we want. Don't say anything against us. 4 days after Disney issued the ban and barely 6 hours after several critics groups banded together to condemn it, the company announced that it would lift its restrictions after having productive discussions with the newly installed leadership of the Los Angeles Times regarding our specific concerns. Neither Disney nor its CEO Bob Iger explained why or how the LA Times Anaheim reporting was as biased and inaccurate as the company now claims. Even after lifting the ban, Disney has still not publicly asked for a retraction of the Anaheim story, nor issued any corrections on the content of the report itself. The company's first statement merely cited an Orange County Register op-ed that calls the LA Times report a hit piece. It appeared to stop just short of calling the LA Times fake news. Criticism of Disney's behavior, especially from critics and press, was swift and fierce. So that is why people are afraid to say anything that might upset the powers that be. David Simon, if journos being selectively barred, then I'll play too. This awards season, all Disney screeners dumped. No votes from me for their stuff. So everyone came together to basically ban Disney, to force their hand. And that's when Disney finally gave in. Ironically, Disney's decision to blacklist the LA Times and the ensuing fallout likely drew more attention to the article the company disagrees with than, isn't that the Streisand effect, I believe, than they would have received if the company had said nothing at all. Yeah, and this too, banning a news outlet's access to Disney properties means banning access to many, many different properties. So anyway, that is wild. Oh, interesting. Disney owns 80% stake in ESPN and its many related brands. So most people associate Disney with animated films. Here are some familiar entertainment properties that fall under the company's umbrella: Marvel, Lucasfilms, Pixar. Through its ownership of the Disney ABC television group and the Walt Disney Television Production Company, Disney owns a number of TV networks and dozens of shows, including Grey's Anatomy, Modern Family, Dancing with the Stars, Bachelor, Blackish, Jimmy Kimmel Live, The Good Doctor, etc. Disney owns 80% of ESPN. Disney and the Hearst Corporation each have 50% ownership of A&E networks, which include A&E, the History Channel, and Lifetime. Disney owns a 30% stake along with NBC, 21st Century Fox, and Time Warner and Hulu. So yeah, including The Handmaid's Tale. When is the new season of that coming out? Anyone know? Because I would love to see the new season of Handmaid's Tale. Thus, Disney's blacklist of the LA Times wasn't just barring the paper's critics from screening Thor's Star Wars prior to the film's release. By issuing a vague statement that restricts the LA Times access to all of its properties, the company made it clear just how far it's willing to go to retaliate against unflattering reporting of its business dealings. So anyway, that is why I think it's going to be very hard to see anyone come out against Blake and Ryan in terms of these big magazines. And I found some articles as well. I don't have them pulled up and it'd be harder to track those down where I found them now, but where reporters had posted blogs about how they would reach out to publicists or, you know, the like Disney or whatever to book interviews with celebrities, and they'd all be for it and they'd say yes and they'd be up for the interview. But then as soon as they heard where the person was a journalist for, they cut them off. And I can't remember the guy's name. I wish I could remember off the top of my head to give him credit. But he said even at like press junkets, he had a situation with Tom Cruise and he wanted an interview. Tom said, "Oh yeah, who do you report for?" He gave the name of the publication he worked for, and Tom was like, "No, sorry." So there is blacklisting that goes down, unfortunately. So, Handmaid's Tale is supposed to be out this April, just like the last season of You. Oh, it's so exciting. Handmaid's Tale is so good. It feels like it's been 45 years since I've seen it, though. Yes, please hit the like button. If you're new here, I have lots of exposés you can dive into. There is going to be a video coming out later tonight with about Colleen Hoover. And if you like human design and astrology, we're going to go into that as well. Marvel and its characters are the connective tissue between Disney, Ryan, Deadpool, and Sony. Absolutely. Tom Cruise's butt hurt about everything. Yeah, so that's why, guys. And it's really unfortunate because the reality is with the connection of everyone in Hollywood and that fear of upsetting someone like Ari Emanuel, you know, I just wish this type of reporting that everyone is doing here, that the different content creators are doing, what we know to be true, because we're diving into this case. I just wish it was hitting more mainstream media. And I know for us, one of the things I get asked about a lot is, yeah, but who reads Glamour or who goes to Google? The majority of the population, unfortunately, still is using Google as a first source of information. And so if you have all of these, like, let's just look at what's going down in Google today. And then I really do have to go. So Google is still the number one. YouTube, I believe, is number two. And believe it or not, Wikipedia tends to be a trending for AI. Wikipedia is usually where it's pulling in its information from, believe it or not. And Wikipedia is one of the first ones that will come up if you're Googling a celebrity's name. I have a conspiracy theory. It is a conspiracy theory, but my conspiracy theory is that Wikipedia was never meant to be just like this collaborative effort on public figures. My conspiracy theory, I'm fine calling it that because I have no proof of it, is that it was always meant to be a PR tool, because that's really what Wikipedia is at this point. It's just a PR tool, even though technically you're not supposed to use it as such. So yeah, if you go to Google, right? So the majority of the population are still going to Google for their news. So if I go, say I'm, a random person, I don't really use YouTube, I'm not on TikTok, and I want to know what's going on with this Justin Baldoni guy. So I type in Justin Baldoni news. Well, you're getting People, The Hollywood Reporter, TMZ, US Weekly. Those are the top 4 for this section. Next is Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni documentary, US Weekly, Page 6, Daily Mail, Castanet. And then if we go down past there, New York Times, like, look at that's still trending. That is still trending. That is wild. So, if I'm not on social media and this is how I get my news, and especially if these titles don't really catch my attention, I'm scrolling down to see what the first actual news story is that's listed here. It's still the New York Times. We can bury anyone inside a Hollywood smear campaign. Then Forbes, Fox News, Yahoo, The Independent, Fox News again, The Hollywood Reporter. So this is what ultimately we are up against at the end of the day, and what Justin is up against, because these platforms, for many of them, I agree with you guys. I think TMZ is actually starting to lean Justin's way. However, this is really what Justin's up against. And a lot of listeners to my channel have reached out and they say, I'm in this country or that country, and it's all pro Blake. So I really believe Justin has to go all the way. He has no choice. But yeah, this is what we're seeing. Ryan Reynolds says Justin Baldoni can't sue him over hurt feelings. And this is Googling Justin's name. Okay, that one's not bad. Fox News, Ryan Reynolds accused of bullying Justin Baldoni, exploiting star power. People, Ryan Reynolds' rep calls him the man Justin Baldoni built his brand pretending to be, and firing a new statement. Jezebel, Ryan Reynolds goes scorched earth on Justin Baldoni, pretty much. I feel like that's their approach now. But yeah, what is this one? Hollywood Reporter, if Ryan Reynolds believes it, how can it be defamation? His lawyers reply to Justin Baldoni. I believe it, so it's not defamation. That's the worst approach ever. I believe it, so Ryan Reynolds, in arguing that he couldn't have defamed Justin Baldoni because he genuinely believes that It Ends With Us director engaged in predatory behavior. Baldoni's lawsuit does not allege any plausible facts that would remotely suggest, well, we already read through that, let alone establish that anyone interpreted Mr. Reynolds' statements as reflecting anything other than his genuine held belief about Mr. Baldoni's character. And then the statement, in a statement, Brian Freeman, a lawyer for Baldoni, says, Reynolds' exploitation of his enormous power in Hollywood continues. Yes, this time arrogantly asking to be dismissed from the case despite his publicly documented involvement extending far beyond just being a supportive spouse. I agree. He added that the actor was a key player in the scheme, defaming Justin around Hollywood, strong-arming WME into dropping Justin as a client and trying to destroy Justin however possible. It's pretty obvious. In Tuesday's filing, Reynolds argues that the lawsuit does not identify a single allegedly defamatory statement he directed towards Baldoni. Replying to accusations that he characterized Baldoni as a predator on a call at WME, Reynolds says the lawsuit must allege specifics of the conversation, including substance, date, and text. We've already read through that lawsuit. Oh, here's the full statement. Baldoni's full statement below. Mr. Reynolds' exploitation of his enormous power in Hollywood continues, this time arrogantly asking to be dismissed from the case despite his publicly documented involvement, extending far beyond just being a supportive spouse. Mr. Reynolds was a key player in the scheme, defaming Justin around Hollywood, strong-arming WME into dropping Justin as a client and trying to destroy Justin's career however possible. His fingerprints have been all over the smear campaign against Justin, the Wayfair team, since day one. Mr. Reynolds now attempts to reduce plainly cognizable claims to hurt feelings, sending a clear message that bullying is acceptable. After lighting a match, Mr. Reynolds now seeks to run from the flames. It won't work. The Wayfair party's claims against him are real and they are serious. Mr. Reynolds can appear on as many sketch shows. Oh, it's just the exact, we've already read the exact same one. I thought we were going to get more information. Sketch shows as he wants and feebly try to make light of his current situation, but it will not stop until he is held accountable for his actions. I'm not even reading that one again. All right, my friends. Another day in the wild world of Blake and Ryan. I want Ryan sued for slapping a 10-year-old. Well, that's true too. He is, and those headlines are why Ryan Reynolds' motion to dismiss was basically just for public consumption. Yep, you got it. They knew the inflammatory language would be main fodder for the media. That's absolutely it. That's it. And unfortunately, again, it can be so easy because we see the world so differently and we get our news from different sources. But when we think of the majority of the population still going to Google, this is the shit they're finding. That's what I'm saying. Discovery would provide specifics, Ryan. That's what I'm saying too. I appreciate you guys for being here and hanging out with me. I love you guys. I have so much fun just hanging out and chatting. Ryan Reynolds is wicked. Slapping a 10-year-old that is not your child is sadistic. What? I don't even have kids, but what I would do. You're right. My appointment is next week. I'm sorry, my bad. That's so funny. No, that's totally good. Oh, yes. I do have an appointment next week at 1:30. Yes, I do. I'm excited to meet with you. I was like, oh my goodness, I hope my schedule is not wrong today. Because I could have swore it was at 2:00. All right, my friends. It was so nice hanging out with you guys. I'm going to go get ready for my 2:00 call. I hope you guys have a fabulous day. I don't know if I can, you guys have a video dropping this evening around dinner time in regards to Colleen Hoover. If there's more dropping, we're probably just going to have to wait. I might be able to get up early tomorrow before calls and we could do it before calls tomorrow. But otherwise, my friends, I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll try to get on live tomorrow. I hope you guys have a beautiful day and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.